What is up? What is up, YouTube? Check this out, man. The moment she realized she killed 2 people, hey, we're gonna bring something new to the Music Recording Network stream channel, man. Midwest Crime, shout out to them. I ran across something, man, trying to keep things a little more on the interesting side, and this video caught my attention big time because 17 million views in 7 months. That is incredible. 17 million views in 7 months. Hit a refresh.
Why making this sort of special?
Looking like wait a minute, y'all. Let me switch this around real quick.
It was supposed to be a beautiful Easter morning in 2020.
It starts off saying it was supposed to be a beautiful Easter morning in 2021. Y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's get into this bad boy. Here we go.
It was supposed to be a beautiful Easter morning in 2021. What happened next would never be forgotten for this family.
We weren't getting a pulse on these people.
We've been tracking this case for the last 2.5 years. After dozens of open records requests and the hiring of an attorney, we finally obtained the records related to this tragic incident and go in depth on the story behind it. 911 calls detail the seriousness behind what took place.
April 4, 2021, 10:32:35.
Please inquire with the address of your emergency.
Yes, there's been a severe car accident on Highway 42.
What's the cross
County
street?
Road 42. What's the cross street?
Bubble Barn.
Bubble Barn.
County Road 5.
County Road 5.
Okay, how many vehicles?
What happened? Two vehicles.
Is
Very,
anyone
very
injured?
bad.
Yes.
Okay, what kind of injuries?
We don't
know. We're
what's happened.
driving past it.
But they're completely totaled.
completely
It looks like it's
totaled.
going to start on fire.
Okay, are you there anymore?
No,
We've driven by.
Okay, stop. They've been on the way this entire time. This is just getting more information for them for when they arrive, okay? Like I said, we have a lot of help on the way. Thank you for calling.
Yep, thank you.
10:32:39.
911, is this a life or death emergency?
Yes.
In other words, sit down. Hold up. I'm on your side. Wait a minute. Hold up. They already on their way. Yeah, we just gathering information.
Start on fire.
Okay, are you there anymore?
No,
We've driven by.
Okay, stop. They've been on the way this entire time. This is just getting more information for them for when they arrive, okay? Like I said, we have a lot of help on the way. Thank you for calling.
Yep, thank you.
10:32:39.
Oh, wow.
911, is this a life or death emergency?
Yes, it is. There's a car crash on 42, like right by the gas station.
42, hold on. 42 and what?
But I don't know. Whatever's by the Bubble
What
Barn.
happened?
The red car was turning like by the
Tell me what happened. Accident or I can't
A car
understand
crash.
you.
Yes, a car crash.
Is anyone injured?
Yes.
Okay, is it blocking traffic? I need someone to talk to me.
The car's on fire. There's one car on fire.
A car's on fire from it? Which car's on fire?
The white car, the Chrysler car's on fire.
Okay, do you see flames or just smoke?
Yes, there's flames and smoke.
Okay, is anyone in the vehicle that's on fire?
No, not in the vehicle, but the car and the SUV, there's somebody that is not conscious.
Just stay on the line with me. I have lots of help on the way. Are you involved or are you just passerby?
No, I'm a passerby, but my friend's brother and sister were in the car that just got hit.
Court testimony held at a later
Wow,
date details
that's
the moments
crazy.
before officers arrived. After witnessing a horrific crash, witnesses say they approached the white vehicle and found one passenger to be severely injured, but alive. Bystanders pulled her out of the car while it was on fire, likely saving her life. She would not have been able to do this on her own due to her injuries, which included a broken ankle, broken backbones, and 2 broken ribs. She also suffered from a deep laceration caused by the seatbelt into her stomach, exposing her intestines underneath her shirt. The driver of that same vehicle was able to get out on his own and sustained minor injuries. As officers arrive, they witness the injured passenger on the ground and recognize that civilians have stepped up to help.
Hello, thanks for attending to her.
Their next priority is to check on the occupants of the red vehicle. The damage is plainly obvious, as the red vehicle was struck with such a force that it was ripped into 2 pieces.
Damn.
Is everyone out? You think everyone's out here? There's one in here. Okay. I didn't feel a pulse though. Okay.
No fire extinguishers? But we're too concerned about that. Is there still a person in here?
Two in here. Yeah, the driver and one in the back seat.
85 I'm arriving.
45, 122 or 86. We've got two trapped inside of a vehicle that'll need to be pried out. I don't know if they've got either the two have a pulse.
Dang, young, the car is straight up split in half. Look at this.
Or 86. We've got two trapped inside of a vehicle that'll need to be pried out.
Dang, the car that's on the pole. That's the other part of it.
I don't know if they've got either.
That's the other half right there. Dang, young, that's crazy.
Two have a pulse.
Don't turn it, buddy. No.
Okay, I understand your concern.
Yeah.
I'll just have you wait back here. Thank you.
I'm not getting a pulse on the back seat.
These people aren't coming out of this vehicle, right? No. Am I seeing that right? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I appreciate your assistance. Thank you.
I'm a former MCSounds.
Oh, you are? All right. All right, and we know that nobody's in this one.
Everybody out?
Okay, we're clear here.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to try to maintain some kind of a perimeter here.
Who's in the car?
He was in the car. I'll give it to you later. Please get them to the hospital now. I will give it to you. I will give it to you all right now. Just get them to the hospital now. She's like, he was cut right here and on her neck.
Well, did you see what happened, or you just hear videoing?
I just saw this and I came over.
Okay, so you did see it happen, or you didn't?
No, I didn't see the accident.
Okay, all right. Right behind you. Is there anything I can do to help get this person out?
Can you check a pulse on that?
We weren't getting a pulse on these people.
She knows the only thing I got. Do that.
Damn, young, that's some people.
Can we call somebody?
Were you in the car?
I called her. She's coming.
Were you in the car? The passenger or the driver?
She's a passenger.
Miss, can I just have you switch your whole keys right quick? Yeah. Need a stretcher? Yes, please. See if we can get an ID on these two passengers.
This is her sister. She wasn't in the car. She was in a different car. Her sister was in the white car.
I just need her sister's name.
Sienna.
Officers gathered information and got most of the story put together. The individuals in the red car, Dalton and Taylor, were struck by the white car, driven by Camille Bond III with his twin sister, Sienna, in the front passenger seat. Their older sister, Camille Bond, was driving alongside them in a separate and seemingly uninvolved black vehicle with her best friend in the passenger seat, Lynn. Lynn was the one to make the 911 call at the beginning of this video. After the crash, Camille stopped down the street in the middle of the road and ran towards the accident on foot. According to court testimony, Camille got out of the car so fast she forgot to put the car in park, but Lynn noticed and did it for her from the passenger seat. Officers quickly realized this may be a criminal investigation involving multiple fatalities and that extreme speeds were likely involved. Accordingly, they quickly identify Camille as a key person of interest. Officers will eventually obtain video evidence of the crash itself to further support Camille's involvement. We will go over that footage later in this video.
Oh, shucks. They was racing, speeding. Maybe all three of them knew each other. I don't know. Man, this is crazy. And she knew. Once the accident happened, she knew something terrible had happened. Wow, let's get
Ma'am, can't go over there right now. We got a car on fire. It's not safe.
It's okay. It's okay. They're fine. I know, baby. It's gone. It's gone. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. I'm making sure that car.
Here, Camille is immediately placing blame on the other driver. She doesn't hesitate to use profanities towards Taylor, who she incorrectly believes was driving the red car.
I think we're going to call 1072.
Okay. 45-122. There's going to be two 1072s.
Officers unfortunately discover the two individuals in the red car, Dalton Lee Ford and Taylor Nicole Garza, have been killed in the crash. The couple was 22 years old. They had plans to celebrate Easter with their families that morning.
Wow. How many people around here taking pictures of the dead person?
Well, they disrespect. Well, and I asked all of them, did you see what happened? Or are you just here to video? Yeah. Doing their commentary and shit.
Yeah, witnesses over here.
Okay.
So we'll need to start talking to them.
Okay. Hey there.
Officers begin questioning witnesses to hopefully figure out exactly what happened.
So whenever we get another... Can you help look back?
No, she didn't like wipe his face off. He got flash. Yeah, we were all going back to my house so we could get dressed and go. It's okay, baby.
Ma'am, I can't even go over here right now.
Wait, right here, by the KFC.
Have them meet you down at Caribou.
Yeah. I had to get him out. I didn't even park my car. It was falling down the hill. I had to get him out. How did it gotta be dead?
Hey, man, can I get the phone you had? Your friend would like it back.
I'm still trying to get a hold of what's going on. You know, what? Oh, here we go.
Hold on there.
Oh, no, only one. It's not a 50.
It's always the loudest one.
Very close to hitting you too. It should have been very close to hitting you too, but it didn't.
You have a ride coming?
My mom is here, but her car is up there.
Okay. Is your car still drivable?
My car is fine.
Okay.
Is she dead? Is she dead? That's all I need to know.
I have no idea.
Well, she better be. If she's not, I'm stuck on that head. I'm
Oh, God.
I'm going to my car.
Why don't we wait here for a second?
No.
I don't think you're able to.
Yes,
to
I am.
drive
I'm
well.
fine.
No, I don't think you're
I'm
able
going
to
to my
drive well.
sister. I'm going to my sister.
She left.
Camille,
she
she left.
She's gone. Yeah, that's that one.
My car is fine though. That's what I'm saying. It's fine. I'm not moving here. I just need my phone and my shoes.
That's what I'm gonna get for you.
Okay.
Just stay right here, please. Hi, I'm Matt. I know.
Look at my baby.
I'm sorry.
Is she dead?
Man.
Your sister or no?
No, that bitch.
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
very sorry I can't give that information, but we just want you to be safe right now.
I'm fine. I just want my stuff. I'm not going anywhere.
This must be really hard.
Yeah.
Looks like
You
it's
didn't
got-
get my phone.
Okay. Your car might be locked, so we can't come
It's
out.
not. My keys are in the car. It's not gonna lock.
Okay. Where's your phone?
It's in the car. It's connected to the. It's connected to a white plug.
Okay.
I have to get it. My mom's gonna call me.
I think he has it. It's with your shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see it in his hand.
Excuse my language. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. But the tried to hit him. They said he tried to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But he tried to hit him.
Easy, easy. Right here. Alright. You're the auntie? Okay. Alright, Phyllis right over there.
They went to the
They went to Richmond.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go.
And they're both?
Passengers in the white car are okay.
What about the other people?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Let's just get you off this.
I need everybody to go on the other side of the road.
I'm going to the hospital. I'm going to the hospital. I work there.
We'll get it taken care of, man.
Okay. All right, I gotta go get my truck over there.
Okay.
Sterling, you stay with me.
Okay. Let me walk with you.
Okay, okay. Oh my God. What happened?
Alright guys, do we
Are
want to
both
move?
of them going to Hennepin County Medical Center?
They're either going to Hennepin or Ridgeview. Ridgeview is closer.
See, well, I was told that Tiana was going to Ridgeview Medical because this is both of her children.
Yeah, so then they're going to Ridgeview. Which is in Burnsville.
They're going to the Ridgeview Hospital. That's in Burnsville.
To do a quick look. I know. And that's why I hope that.
So what
I hope that she is because she.
Why is it car like that?
Because the tried to beat him.
Can you talk to her?
Man, you can tell who's wrong. Why you? People kill me when they act like, oh God, what happened? They get all hysterical and all this. Like, that's how you're supposed to act. I'm in this mode, so what's going? All this type of stuff. Then you keep saying because that B tried to beat him, and oh my God, you want to know if she passed away and if she is good. Shame on you, man. Why do we want pain for other people, man? That's crazy.
Because she just said that they just passed that hospital.
She tried to beat him, and then I tried to go around her so he wouldn't hit her.
They went to the county in Minneapolis.
They both went to county in Minneapolis.
And she tried to beat him still.
Let's move to this
and then
next
she
corner,
tried to
okay?
go around him.
I don't know why they took him over there with their mama. I don't know.
We on his phone, but Sienna has a big cut right here. Her knee's gonna come out of it.
Camille's sitting with you.
We're still, we have to wait for the medical examiner to get here before we can touch any of the cars. You could expedite, we're going to go 10-15 with this thing. So what was your first name?
Camille.
Okay, Camille, here's what's going to happen is we're going to be placing you under arrest.
Why?
For criminal vehicular operation.
How?
Well, you were racing your brother.
No, I was not.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We have to examine all of our phones and that type of stuff. So, like I said, we can go two ways. If we have to put you in handcuffs, but we're going to take you back to our station to talk to you.
Nobody was racing. We were going 65.
Okay. So, I understand that.
No.
Okay, so you think you're going 65?
We weren't even going that fast, and I watched it. That's the thing. I watched it.
Okay.
And he was even behind me.
So who squealed out at the intersection there?
What was that?
Who squealed out back at that intersection way down there? Did you have a witness that said that somebody had smoke pouring over the tires?
No, we did not. We left at the same time. Nobody had wheels nor nothing.
Okay.
That whoever told you that is lying.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna say it like this: whoever told you who said that, most likely is probably white, and I know it is.
This wouldn't be the first time.
Damn it. I knew that was great come. Now you're going to drop the race card. They probably was white. Okay, if they was white, they still saw you skrill out. They still saw you racing. But and you done killed a white person. Two of them in the car. Why we always got to jump straight to the race card? And you talking to a white man. I'm assuming. That ain't cool. That ain't cool, girlfriend. God dang it. Oh my God. Here we go, man.
That whoever told you that is lying. Okay. And I'm just going to say it like this. Whoever told you who said that, most likely is probably white. And I know it is.
This wouldn't be the first time Camille has claimed being prejudiced against while being accused of a crime. Before the day of the crash, Camille held several speeding tickets in her records, even though she was just 19 years old. Her first ticket listed she was traveling 50 miles an hour in a 30-mile-an-hour zone, 20 miles over the speed limit. Her second speeding charge was for going 58 miles in a 45-mile-an-hour zone, 13 miles over the speed limit. However, the ticket details that she was very argumentative with the officer in this situation. The report shares that she argued she was pulled over due to her loud music and her being black, then claimed she was traveling that speed on a hill, and then when the officer handed her the ticket, she crumpled it up and tossed it into the passenger seat of her vehicle. Her third ticket was listed as duty to drive with due care speed, where no specific speed data is cited. More details on more of her tickets will be covered shortly.
Okay. We were not racing, no, none of that.
You weren't racing at all?
No,
okay.
I told him, for a simple fact, I'm gonna tell you just like this. For a simple fact, we are black. It is a nice day outside. I know that the police are out. We see the state troopers out. We were not going fast. I said, we're going to just go the speed limit up here. He said, okay. His car has more horsepower than mine does. Okay. So obviously it's going to sound like it because I know how the engine sounds. Okay. And I'm going to spit fact. My car is slow. Okay. But I was in front, so he knows I was in front.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm going to be in front because he's going to follow my lead.
You know what the number one problem with this whole situation is? When they say they're going to place you under arrest, one word should have came out of her mouth. One word. Y'all know what the one word was or is. The one word should have been lawyer. All this talk, it's nothing that's going to get you out of trouble. is only going to be used against you in the court of law. Why we so smart and think we know it all. We can play the race card and all this stuff, but we can't keep our mouth shut and just say lawyer. These cops are not there to help you. They there to do their job, which is take you to jail. And you doing all this talking for what? Oh, now I clearly understand. I believe you black, and that car has more horsepower than yours. What did that got to do with driving a vehicle, maintaining the vehicle? You the operator of the vehicle.
I'm gonna spit fact. My car is slow, but I was in front, so he knows I was in front.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm gonna be in front because he's gonna follow my lead. We were not going fast. She gassed on it. When I mean she gassed on it, she didn't see him because he was behind me. Actually, my car was up there, but I moved it up here because it was rolling back and it was still in drive. I don't want to mess up my transmission. She gassed on it to try to beat him.
Okay, so I appreciate you telling me all that type of stuff. So, like I said, our process is this, okay?
Please don't do that. So, I'm already black and it already looks bad enough.
It has nothing to do with race, man. We have 2 people that are dead right now caused by an accident.
Because she gassed on it.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with me and my brother. Okay, we were not speeding. What do you not understand?
You know what the speed limit is on here?
Yes, it's 55. We were going 60.
Okay.
It's not my problem that she wanted to be a dumb bitch and try to beat us. Okay. That's not my problem. Okay. You placing me under arrest for something that we did not do? We have digital dashes, bro.
We're going to get all that.
We have digital dashes. So therefore, we were going 60.
So you don't have to yell at me.
I have to because you don't understand.
Look at the cop behind her. Look at the cop. He ready. They are ready for the trigger moment.
That we did not do. We have digital dashes,
have to yell at me. Why are you yelling?
We have digital dashes. So therefore, we were going 60.
So you don't have to yell at me.
I have to because you don't understand.
Okay, so here's what is going to happen.
No, I'm not. Okay. You're not placing me under arrest or anything.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. Baby, I love you. I love all of you guys.
Stay there.
Let's stay, please, baby.
You're going to be in handcuffs in a minute if you don't stay over there.
Please, baby, I love you guys. I love all you guys.
Let's go put on a trooper.
I love you, Mom. Yep.
Double locking.
And yes, they did use force, and I was not resisting.
So, miss, what we'll do is we'll take a statement from you and everything you...
Hold up. They used force, and I was not resisting. You definitely didn't resist. I gotta give you that. You didn't resist. But they didn't use force. What force did they use? God dog it. Are you serious? And they use force. Oh my God. This is so weak. This is past week. I'm sorry, lady.
Arrest. Okay. Sorry.
Yes. Baby, I love you.
She put her hands behind her back. No problem.
Oh, you guys.
Stay there.
Let's stay, please, baby.
You're going to be in handcuffs in a minute if you don't stay over there.
Please, baby, I love you guys. I love all you guys.
Let's go put on a trooper.
I love you, Mom. Yep. Yeah, and yes, they did use force, and I was not resisting.
So, miss, what we'll do is we'll take a statement from you and everything you said.
Can you take me out of these, please?
When we get back to our station, okay?
Love you guys.
Can you, Jay, you want to pat her down quick?
I don't have anything.
I know, I gotta make sure.
It's not in my ass. I need to got no drawers off.
Just listen. Okay.
I need to got no drawers off.
Okay, have a seat.
While both Leon and Camille were arrested that day, they were both released shortly after pending charges. However, prosecutors did charge and arrested the driver of the white vehicle that made contact in the crash, Camille Bond III, who faced charges 6 months later. Leon was ultimately tried as a juvenile. This was despite the efforts to try him as an adult, including a delinquency petition and a petition for adult verification, both of which were denied. Because he was tried as a juvenile, the details surrounding his case are not readily available or public. However, we do know some things, which includes a peek into Leon's school history with fights. One appellate case reveals that Leon's mother legally went after a school official when he attempted to prevent a fight that involved Leon, his 2 sisters, and another student. The case accuses the school official of dislocating Leon's arm while attempting to prevent the fight. This case was ultimately denied by the court due to there being a lack of willful or malicious wrong in the school official's actions. While Leon's case was being determined, Camille was also charged 6 months after the crash with charges surrounding her direct involvement by drag racing. During that 6-month period before her arrest, Camille got pulled over and charged for driving on a revoked license. Her license was revoked due to her failing to address her 3 previous speeding charges. She then got another speeding ticket that listed her going 59 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone, 24 miles over the speed limit. In that pullover, she stated she was going downhill as the reason she was traveling so fast. In October of 2021, she was issued an arrest.
Man, y'all don't... Dude, your job as the operator of a vehicle is to control the speed. You can't have an excuse that I'm going downhill, that's why I was going fast. Oh, I'm glad you told me that, because I ain't even know that was a hill right there going downhill. It's called brakes. You're supposed to put your foot on the brake. You can't speed because you're on a hill. And girlfriend, you just need to slow down. When are you going to get it through your head that you drive too fast? You got all these speeding tickets. You drive too fast. Racing is in your blood. It's clear that you was racing. My bad, you wasn't racing, but it's clear you was driving too fast. Look at the car split in half.
Warrant and faced 2 counts of third-degree murder, 2 counts of criminal vehicular homicide, 1 count of criminal vehicular operation resulting in great bodily harm, and 1 count of careless driving. The warrant she was issued revealed more details surrounding the incident, including a deeper look into post-event interviews and forensic research. The report detailed surveillance footage that shows the intersection they started the race at. Witness testimony shares that the 2 exchanged a conversation here pertaining to whose car could accelerate faster. After that alleged conversation, the 2 cars take off well ahead of the other vehicles surrounding them. Another surveillance camera captures the impact. Moments before, you can see just how long it takes for this uninvolved vehicle to enter the right side of the frame and pass the area where the crash happens. When Camille and Leon's vehicles zoom by moments later, it takes roughly half the time. A crash reconstruction report reveals data obtained by the airbag control module in Leon's vehicle. The report indicated Leon and his sister Camille, who was traveling alongside him, were going 114 miles per hour just 5 seconds before the crash.
Don't say that. I know good and well this girl told me someday was doing 65. You lied through your mother teeth. You straight up lied and said she was doing 65. They was doing 114 miles an hour. 64 miles over 55 miles per hour. We're going 114 miles per hour just 5 seconds before the crash. Oh my God, man. This is ridiculous. Watch this. They was going so fast that the person that made that left turn across their traffic thought it was clear.
Where the crash happens. When Camille and Leon's vehicles zoom by moments later, it takes roughly half the time. A crash reconstruction report reveals data obtained by the airbag control module in Leon's vehicle. The report indicated Leon and his sister Camille, who was traveling alongside him, were going 114 miles per hour just 5 seconds before the crash, 64 miles over the posted 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. Court documents also indicated Leon and Camille were over 3 football fields away when Dalton and Taylor started to take the turn. They traveled roughly 3/4 of a mile after taking off from the intersection before crashing. Her and her brother's vehicle were traveling between 93 and 106 miles an hour before Leon's vehicle struck Dalton and Taylor. The day after her arrest on October 29, 2021, Camille posted a $75,000 non-cash bond, which came with conditions that notably did not exclude her driving privileges, allowing her to drive despite the seriousness behind her case. 2 months after her release on bond, court records indicate she got in a car accident where she claimed another driver was at fault. She issued a small claims case to the court for the other individual to pay a sum greater than $4,500. In the following year, she won this court case due to the other party not showing up. She was given yet another speeding ticket in May of 2022. This time, she was caught going 83 miles an hour in a 60-mile-an-hour zone, 23 miles over the speed limit. In this pullover, the ticket cites that Camille was unaware of the speed limit, cried, and explained to the officer that she had a bad experience with law enforcement before and was afraid of cops. State records allegedly showed her car's registration was expired despite the stickers on her car displaying she was up to date. In January of 2023, 3 months shy of 2 years after the car crash, news reports indicate that Camille's brother Leon pled guilty to 2 counts of third-degree murder. He was sentenced to 25 years of prison that same month. Because inmates only have to serve 2/3 of their sentence before transferring to probation, this means he should be out of jail in 16 years and 8 months, or in September of 2039, when he is 36 years old. However, rules apply differently for juvenile cases. Here is an image posted on what appears to be Leon's Facebook page, posted in September of 2023, where he seems to be under house arrest. He proudly holds what looks to be $1,000 in cash with a smile on his face. Because Leon was being tried as a juvenile, he was put on probation until the age of 21, with a stayed sentence of 25 years in prison. As long as Leon doesn't break probation by age 21, his sentence will be considered served. In mid-2024, Leon turned 21 and successfully completed his probation. His sentence for murdering Dalton and Taylor is considered served. His sister, who operated the other racing vehicle, Camille Bond, faced a slew of charges as an adult for her involvement, making her case information more readily available. Through court deliberations, Camille's defense team would not only argue that she was not at fault due to her not being in the vehicle that struck Taylor and Dalton, but would go as far as to say Dalton should have yielded before the turn, and even suggested Dalton was at fault for the crash. In this section of the video, we will cover the surprising court deliberations that brought the case to its conclusion. In court, several factors were brought to light through witness and expert testimonies. While there are some notable instances of witnesses ascribing the scene to being horrific and the worst thing they have ever experienced, some more frustrating revelations deemed that Camille and her brother Leon were not only reckless with their actions, but continued to be reckless after bystanders had told them to slow down prior to the crash. Court testimony details that a bystander noticed descriptions of Camille's and Leon's vehicles traveling at a high rate of speed past her house in a residential neighborhood. This frustrated the witness as it was Easter Sunday, and there were children outside. This witness noticed that the pair parked down the street from her residence, so she decided to walk down to the cars to tell them to slow down. This witness's testimony matched the descriptions of Camille, her passenger friend Lynn, and the description of the vehicles Camille and her brother were driving. After the neighbor had spoke to them directly about slowing down, she claims the cars then sped past her on the road as she was walking back to her home, which was an inferred attempt at retaliation. This neighbor then tried calling 911 at 10:28 over their reckless behavior, roughly 4 minutes before the crash happened. Unfortunately, it appears the call didn't connect, and the neighbor decided to let it go, seeing as she only had a partial license plate to work with. A couple days later, when she saw a news article involving the vehicles, she claims to have recognized the plate based off the partial she had, causing her to call the authorities to inform them of the racing activity she saw the pair engaged in earlier that morning. If that wasn't jarring enough, the prosecuting attorney also called up Lynn, the passenger in Camille's car, and revealed Camille and Leon's lack of remorse over the whole situation. Lynn claims that she was best friends with Camille, but ceased the relationship over the morality of the situation. Lynn supported the neighbor's claim that Camille and Leon were not driving safe in the neighborhood, and confirmed that the neighbor had spoken to both Camille and Leon. She also shared that, in the moments before the pair sped off at the intersection, Camille and Leon exchanged a conversation through their car windows over who could accelerate faster. Camille, in past interrogations, claimed that this was true, though she informed her brother not to go faster than 55 miles an hour so that they wouldn't be pulled over. Lynn's testimony contradicted that claim, citing the pair never talked about speed limits. During her testimony, Lynn admitted she was scared during her 911 call because she had realized the car Camille was driving could have just as easily impacted Dalton and Taylor's vehicle. She shared that Camille was largely concerned about the damage to the car and the condition of her siblings, but that nobody went to the red car and that Camille was unremorseful. Lynn.
Damn, yeah. You're right, nobody went to the red car because she looking for, worrying about her babies. But, oh man, it's just a freak accident, man. They didn't mean to kill these white people. I don't know what difference does it make that they was white. They could have been green people. They people, and you killed them. Because you decided to lie about you and your brother was racing. This is why they have speed limits, people. Because when that guy or girl, whoever was driving, turned that corner, it looked clear for them. You traveling 100 miles an hour. You see a car way down the street. You cannot tell how fast that vehicle is traveling. You think they doing speed limit. 3 football fields? 3 of them. And then you hit, oh my God. Then you was wishing that they was dead so they wouldn't be able to tell their side of the story. That's what you was doing. That's exactly what you was doing. Is she dead? Is she dead? You wanted them to be dead so they would not be able to tell their side of the story. That's what was going through your mind. Shame on you. God don't like ugly.
Taylor's vehicle, she shared that Camille was largely concerned about the damage to the car and the condition of her siblings, but that nobody went to the red car and that Camille was unremorseful. Lynn also detailed that at a time after the crash during a birthday party, Camille and Leon, among other family members, held a conversation blaming the red car for the accident despite their excessive speeds. She further shares that the Bond family seemed to only care about their own family being injured and held no empathy or sadness for Dalton or Taylor's passing. Lynn also cited that she stopped being friends with Camille after the birthday party because she felt sad, traumatized, and remorseful while Camille felt differently. Other witnesses appeared on the stand to share their opinions of Camille and Leon's driving. One witness shared they told others after witnessing their speeds that they're going to kill somebody moments before the crash. Other witnesses added more claims to Camille's words on scene, including, "The f***ing bitch better be dead or I'll find her and kill her," and "You stupid dumbass effing white bitch." Others sharing, "In all the years I've been driving, I've never seen two cars drive like that before." And that witnesses found it jarring. Camille didn't attempt to help her injured sister, but was able to maintain threatening 2 fatal crash victims. The defense's argument that Dalton and Taylor's vehicle should have yielded brought frustrations to witnesses taking the stand. One individual having what appears to be a heated back and forth over the perceived ridiculousness of his argument. One professional opinion on the stand debunked the defense's right-of-way argument, citing that, statutorily, the right-of-way vehicle loses that claim if they are speeding, and in this case, the vehicles were estimated to be traveling over twice the speed limit. That same professional opinion cited data that showed if the 2 vehicles were not drag racing and were traveling the speed limit, Dalton and Taylor would have easily cleared the intersection without contact. A jury court would unanimously convict her on all of her charges. In closing statements prior to determining Camille's sentencing, countless contributions from the community shared how the case, and particularly the loss of Dalton and Taylor, impacted their lives. Taylor's father shared that he'll never forget the scream his wife, Taylor's mother, let out the day 2 police officers came to their home to inform them of their daughter's death. He shares that the sound still haunts him to that day. Dalton's older brother Dylan, a pastor, shared that if Camille's family remained blind to her guilt, that she would remain guilty on the day of her judgment, and God would strike her down for the murderer that she is. Friends of the family shared frustrations with Leon's light sentence, sharing that they hated the court system for giving him such an easy break. They also shared that rules do not apply to Camille, and that she will kill again. They referenced Camille's lack of remorse, pointing out that Camille turned to her mom, laughing and playing on her phone like it was any other day during breaks in court testimony. Documents revealed that the victim's family had just held a funeral the day prior for Dalton's grandfather. One cousin noted that the last photo they all took together as a family was that day. Veronica, Dalton's mom, pointed out frustrations with Camille's lack of remorse and her continued speeding infractions after the fact. Dalton's father, Jim, highlighted Camille and Leon's previous school fights, along with their alleged fistfight that broke out when they got in an accident with another driver. He also cited her claims of racial prejudice against her to be nothing of the sort when it came to Dalton and Taylor, sharing the pair had gone to Minneapolis in support of George Floyd, that Taylor had continually engaged in Native American culture and reservation programs, and that his son Dalton was involved in a mostly Hmong and Hispanic car club. He also highlights an alleged social media conversation Camille had where she mentioned going drag racing again only 45 days after the crash. Jim also cited numerous individuals who shared stories of Dalton's acceptance and openness to other people. He also mentioned that, shortly after the incident, he and Veronica had discussed a hypothetical scenario. Their scenario involved Camille and Leon's mom, Crystal, coming to their house, apologizing and begging for forgiveness. In this case, Jim claims Veronica would have gave her a hug, invited her into the house for coffee, and discussed the nightmare as mothers, one to another. They purposefully told the court to keep communications open between them and all individuals involved, in case this scenario came to a reality. A year after the incident, once Jim and Veronica saw their hypothetical scenario would never come to existence, they closed communication through the court system. In contrast, when Camille and Leon's mother Crystal took the stand, she denounced the notion that her children should be called murderers, citing a Webster's dictionary definition that mentioned premeditation, even though they were being tried for third-degree murder. She also claimed she feared Camille was going to become the next George Floyd, and said Veronica had, quote, verbally assaulted her for calling her a bad mother a year after the incident. When it came time for sentencing, the judge first cited his reasoning. He shared that, in my 40 years of being involved in the legal business in various aspects, I've never been involved in a case that's affected and impacted so many different people in so many different ways. He also pointed out frustrations that Leon was tried as a juvenile and wouldn't spend a day in prison as long as he abides by his probation conditions. Before sharing the sentencing, he told Camille directly, I think you're in deep denial about what exactly your role played in this event. For her third-degree murder charges, she was sentenced with 150 months for one and 180 months for the other, which would be served concurrently with her sentence for criminal vehicular operation resulting in serious bodily harm, which amounted to 38 months. For the rest of her convictions, a sentence was not pronounced. Because all of her sentences run concurrently with each other, her total sentence is 180 months, or 15 years. In Minnesota, inmates must serve 2/3 of their total sentence, making her eligible for probation after 10 years. She was also permitted 107 days of jail credit. Her court fees were waived, but she was ordered to pay Dalton's mother nearly $30,000 in restitution, which would be deducted from prison wages and from pay she obtains while on probation. Using this information, having been sentenced in March of 2023, she will likely get out of prison at the tail end of the year in 2032, when she is 30 years old. After her sentencing, Camille submitted her case into the Court of Appeals to be retried. Her appellate case was effectively denied by the courts, sealing her sentence. While the records we obtained from the state pertained directly from Camille's involvement.
Man, that's a lot, man. That is a whole lot. Dude, you still speeding. You yelling. All the stuff that you yelled from somebody that was already passed away. She feeling it, man. She feeling it. They both feeling it now. All they got to do is keep thinking about it. It's going to be heavy on your heart. And next thing you know, God dang, man. Stuff like this has happened to me. When you act like in front of everybody, I'm the man, I don't care, whatever, I don't care. But behind closed doors, it starts seeping in deeply into your soul. And you like, shit, what have I done? Yeah, that's what's going to happen with her. God, dog, she can't stop racing.
Her case into the Court of Appeals to be retried. Her appellate case was effectively denied by the courts, sealing her sentence. While the records we obtained from the state pertained directly from Camille's involvement in the case, we were able to secure an interview with Dalton's mom, Veronica, to get more details surrounding Leon's case, and exactly how and why he was let off the hook so easily after being convicted for double murder.
Through those transcripts and through the body cam footage, it's wild to me that this case was not taken as seriously as it seems like it should have been.
You know, we don't wish a family to go through this. I mean, in the beginning, we just sat back. I mean, we trusted those that we felt were looking out for Dalton and Taylor's best interest. The further we got along in the process, the more holes I kept finding. Attitudes, amount of remorse, accountability. If that would have come into play, we would understand, we'd be better. But because it didn't, and because the way the laws are set up right now, that these children are protected. A double murder charge in the Dakota County, they'd never had one before. We were going to be the first juvenile case to go to trial because Leon was innocent. Camille was innocent. Dalton pulled out in front of them. I mean, you've read the transcripts. He turned 21. At that time, he's free and clear. It's like it never happened. I bet you I did 75 open records requests. I fought hard and not so much on Camille's situation. I mean, because hers was adult, it was fighting the juvenile side. Strangely enough, they did make 4 changes to their juvenile certification process. The juvenile side, they say that this case will haunt them for the rest of their lives. That Leon was not certified as an adult. I found out there are 87 counties in Minnesota. There are 87 ways to certify a juvenile. county by county, not even Washington, Dakota, Scott, Carver, none of them go through the certification process for a juvenile the same way.
The county that handled this case, Dakota County, certifies juveniles through a psychological and criminal record report, which then goes through an evaluation process involving multiple parties. To qualify for certification, the accused must be 14 years old, and in this case, Leon was 17 and 9 months old at the time of the crash. Secondly, the crime needs to be a felony, and this case certainly qualifies as one of the worst felony charges a person can obtain, and Leon got 2 of them. In most cases where a juvenile who is 16 or older is being tried for particularly violent offenses like this case, there is a presumption of certification, which means the juvenile is assumed to be tried as an adult. That is, unless they can specifically prove they would be rehabilitated through the juvenile system. This process for proof of rehabilitation in this case required a parole officer to organize a report, referred to as a certification study. Additionally, a psychologist conducts a psychological evaluation. This report often includes the seriousness of the crime, indications of mental health issues, their prior record, and their likelihood of rehabilitation in the juvenile system. These reports are then reviewed by the Extended Juvenile Jurisdiction Panel, or the EJJ panel for short. In this case, the 7-person panel then votes on if the accused should be tried as an adult or not. In Leon's case, Veronica made a startling discovery through her own investigations.
Leon was on probation at the time that he murdered Dalton and Taylor. His probation officer was the intake probation officer for the certification process.
Leon was already on probation at the time of the crash. Reports indicate this was likely due to his violent behavior in high school. What made this a troubling situation was the extended history the probation officer had with Leon. These prior efforts to push for rehabilitation could influence the probation officer to unjustly suggest a favorable outcome for Leon due to their personal attachment to the case. Unfortunately, it seems that's exactly what happened.
His current probation officer was the one that supplied all the information to the 7-panel EJJ members, and she left out all of his high school history. She only went up till 8th grade.
And that, of course, influenced that panel.
Correct.
Additionally, news reports indicate that the same probation officer was also one of the 7 members on the EJJ panel to vote for or against Leon's adult certification.
And it was a 4-3 vote, Harrison. 4 said juvenile, 3 said adult.
In this case, that probation officer was one of the votes to not certify Leon as an adult.
So 1 vote, with him being 80 days shy of 18, with a history, on probation for the 3rd time, 2 of them being assault charges. We just said that's a conflict of interest. And then they would come back and say, well, but the current PO is going to have the most history with that juvenile. Okay.
I hope you all are learning something, because Uncle Mike is straight up learning something. People get personal with the people and they look the other way. People get personal with these people and they look the other way. That's just it. She done got personal with this guy. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. You're doing wrong. I'm trying to help you. You done accidentally taking 2 people off this earth because of your reckless driving while you're on probation, and I'm gonna still try to help you and sweep stuff under the rug. That's terrible, man. This is crazy.
So 1 vote, with him being 80 days shy of 18, with a history, on probation for the 3rd time, 2 of them being assault charges. We just said that's a conflict of interest. And then they would come back and say, well, but the current PO is going to have the most history with that juvenile. Okay, but then that probation officer needs to give everybody the same information. The state forensic psychologist had everything, had all of his history from all the way through high school. The 7-member panel did not. So one of the changes that was made was all reports given have to be the same. You cannot pick and choose what members see what. The other one, the intake parole officer cannot be the juvenile's current probation officer.
Right.
The 3rd change was with restitution. The corrections department determined the amount of restitution. I had provided documentation showing, because Dalton, 22, didn't have life insurance, student loans, had a car payment. Restitution was approved upon at $29,000 and some change. It was whatever I submitted. Well, we got the documentation from the juvenile side, and it said, well, Leanna's only responsible to pay $8,500. And I went, why? It's $29,000 and some change. They're both equally guilty. I would have thought it just would have been split in half. Dakota County Juvenile Corrections set their own dollar amount. Most counties would leave it up to the judge. He's been out. Camille's in jail. You know, she doesn't have as good of an opportunity to pay this restitution as Leon does. Well, they did change that now. It's no longer up to juvenile corrections. It is up to the judge. They got rid of the cap. They, in essence, had a cap of $8,500. The state forensic psychologist came back and said, yes, adult. There is not enough time to rehabilitate him. There is not. He for the severity of the crime, he cannot be rehabilitated, or she didn't think. She submitted her report the day before the EJJ panel did. The EJJ panel knew that the state forensic psychologist had recommended adult. They never reconvened. They never got into a room, never came together and said, let's look at this now. 2 people lost their lives. Right. This isn't a vandalism. 2 people were murdered. Dakota County Corrections does not like me. Does not, and I don't care. But they came back to me time and time again. I have it in writing. They were only required to do a summary. And I said, Dalton and Taylor deserved more than a summary. They lost their lives. You people need to fight for them and to make changes. So that is another change that Dakota County did make. Once they've pulled together the state forensic psychologist, they reconvene as a team to discuss the results and why they came up with what they did. Now, again, I don't know how I follow that. I don't know how I track it. You know, they put it on a piece of paper and they said, these are our new policies. Right. I did ask them also why they don't post that on their website. They said they're not required. Well, you know, maybe if they would have done some of the stuff, they wouldn't have had me, you know, where I was a thorn in their side for months. Judge Carter, I mean, this was like the last thing he stamped on and he retired. And I get it, even if the EJJ panel would have said adult and the state forensic psychologist said adult, Carter could have said juvenile. At the end of the day, it is up to him. But, you know, how could he have gone against 2? He did not take into consideration anything that state forensic psychologist did. He, honestly, we think, Harrison, he made his decision before he even got all the details. That's how we feel.
What other changes are you hoping that the state will be making?
He did go down and spend 9 months in Red Wing. Well, 8 months.
Red Wing is the juvenile correctional facility that Leon was admitted to for rehabilitation.
I ended up getting a hold of Red Wing too, and I said, I want to know what type of a program you have in Red Wing to process or rehabilitate a juvenile versus somebody that's down there for theft or, you know, anything that you would end up at Red Wing for. And that is the only facility in the state of Minnesota for these juveniles that commit these higher crimes that if they were an adult, it would be a prison sentence. Well, we really don't have a different program. And I said, so you're telling me Leon is down there getting the same classes as somebody is down there for theft. They don't have any extra programs that they provided to Leon, the same counseling, everything. When I had gotten a hold of JSD in Hastings, I said, what does Leon's day-to-day look like? You know, he was taking class. He finally did get his diploma. So, because he was a super senior, he hadn't graduated yet. But he was getting religious classes. He was taking yoga classes. And I'm sitting here thinking, he murdered 2 people. He's over here in the Hastings JSD. He's getting yoga. I mean, there has to be something above and beyond. Juveniles are given a slap on the hand. Just because they're under the age of 18, that shouldn't give them a get out of jail free card. And in essence, it does. If there is a situation where they can be rehabilitated, that needs to be done. But each case needs to be looked at. And when you're talking the murder of 2 people, it can't be the same. When we met with Keith, he agreed. He says, no, harder programs need to be given, longer probation. You know, he said, Veronica, once this law gets passed, we're going to name it the Dalton-Taylor law. 18, that can't be this magic number. He's an adult. I get it at the time. He was 80 days shy of being 18. He was arrested that day, but then he was let go. Now in Wisconsin, which of course is where we live, just across the river, 17, you're automatically an adult. Now Minnesota is actually trying to raise it to 21.
Wow.
There were bills that went in this last time that none of them went through, but the authors were, one was Bobby Joe Champion, Camille's attorney, that said, you know, the age needs to be raised to 21. The brain fully doesn't develop until you're 25. Then keep them in probation until they're 25. Don't let them off when they're 21. You know, extend it. Yep, get it, but make them accountable, you know, and going the opposite direction of what we're fighting for. And I emailed those editors of those laws. Not one of them got back in touch with me. Leon murdered 2 people and got basically 25 months. How can somebody that drives that recklessly end up getting the sentencing that he did? Taylor was like a daughter to us. So we lost 2. And it's something that they're worth fighting for. Somebody was going to die. Somebody was going to die that morning on that road by their hands. You know, the last time we had court with Leon was right before his birthday, and the level of entitlement from that family, you know, I was standing right there that could have given him an opportunity to say something to me, her an opportunity, and they just... Now, I had some words with them as well, and they weren't pleasant, but they were words that I had been wanting to say to them for quite some time. And Tiana, the twin sister, looks right at Crystal, the mom, and said, "Mom, she's nothing. Don't worry about it. She's nothing." And this is the twin sister they almost killed. And I just, you know, at that time it was like, yep, you guys took 2 beautiful, innocent lives, and you could care less. If they would have taken ownership, fallen to their knees that day and apologized and said, yep, this is what we were doing, I mean, we'd be in a better place. Honestly, not even sure if they would have done that. They might not have even seen a day in jail. I believe at this time we can turn a page and not expect to hear anything. I hope and pray that Camille gets rehabilitated. The Bond family, I mean, those children have a history of anger. Even in high school, we had heard about it. I'm hoping and praying she can come out and be a better person and take the fact that she killed 2 people, she was found guilty, but she can still live her life.
Veronica also took the time to speak about those who have helped her through the process.
Harrison, the Burnsville Police Department are nothing short of amazing. They worked so hard on this case, and they hand-delivered the packet to the Dakota County Attorney's Office. It meant a lot. We had to have Dalton and Taylor's service at the high school. Over in the corner, out of my peripheral vision, you know, I saw 4 officers. They came to Dalton and Taylor's service, and they just said that they needed to see them in a different light. These are 4 complete strangers. They were first responders, so they were there, and that meant the world to us. You know, it just goes to show you what kind of people. One of the EMTs, I mean, he broke down on the stand. He started to cry. I mean, you know, and young, and he just, you know, the tragedy of it all,
This is a very tough case. It's a tough case. It's okay.
Golly, man.
I know. I'm with you. I'm sorry. Okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah, this is
yeah.
wow,
So,
man.
you know, they're worth fighting for.
Absolutely.
There's a foundation called Street Racing Kills out of California. There had been an article out there. I've been in touch with her. Dalton and Taylor are now on that website. She did reach out to me and asked if I would be the overseer of Street Racing Kills up in this area. And I told her I'd be more than happy to just try to fight this, because since Dalton and Taylor, there's been a lot more, unfortunately, that have lost their lives to just stupid recklessness. When you are of a sober mind, you know, not under any influence, and you make decisions like this, something's got to change. There's got to be some legit awareness made out there that if you do this, this is what's going to happen.
If there was a place that we could donate to, or ask our viewers to donate to as well, would that be an organization you want to donate to, or do you have a different one in mind?
Yes.
That's the one? Okay.
Yes. Yep. But yeah, Street Racing Kills, it is a nonprofit. So yeah, any donations, if anybody would want to do that, that would be absolutely fabulous. Taylor had, she was very active with the Lac de Flambeau.
Yeah, the reservation. Yep.
Yeah, that would be another one is the lac de flambeau, because she was very passionate about that. So when you take 2 innocent lives, it shouldn't be too hard to get justice. It's just been a fight, just.
And that's what I hope that this video helps. I mean, the more awareness around cases like this, the more hopefully there's a push for changes to the law so that something like this doesn't happen again.
It's got to. I don't have any patience for aggressive drivers anymore.
Veronica here shared that she had witnessed an aggressive driver on the road and called the police with license plate information. She then detailed that phone call.
I said, I would like a Prescott just to go talk to her. So I had told the dispatcher that Leon had been pulled over. He had gotten warnings, and been let go. And sometimes it's just one person that can go and have a conversation enough to have them think twice about what they're doing. And, of course, then she's like, I'm so sorry for your loss. Well, then, of course, I start bawling. I'm crying to a complete stranger on the phone. But it's maybe if somebody would have talked to Leon, and just said, if you keep driving the way you're driving, there's going to be consequences, and maybe Dalton and Taylor would still be here. So, we can what if ourselves forever for the rest of our lives. Any kind of awareness we can bring to this, Harrison, like I said, I'm not done. I'm going to battle cages until my last breath. I don't know if you have children, but your children teach you things. I was very grateful to be his mom, for 22 years. I would have loved to have had him for another 66, but that was taken from us. And another family can't go through what we went through.
That is, I was not expecting that, man. That is crazy how, shout out to Street Racing Kills, man. I pulled the website up, man. Just so y'all can see the website. I don't know if this helping. Uncle Mike always try to help out and everything. But this is the website, streetracingkills.org. As soon as I did a Google search, it came up. Oh, wow. They actually got stuff happening in Asia and Australia. So, I don't know. We are saving lives together. Y'all just check out the website, man. I think this is something a lot of people need to start being aware of and pushing it to the younger generation, because all they want to do is race. They don't realize the consequences until it's too late. Don't let it be too late before they understand the consequences of what's going on. Oh man, they got me choked up over here. She said that they was doing 65 miles an hour. She said the speed limit was 55 and the speed limit was 50. She said we was only doing 65. They was doing 114. They was doing well over 100. After this incident, she got pulled over a couple of more times. Wrong registration. When are you gonna wake up? When are you gonna wake up, man? I try my best to keep all that stuff together, man. You gotta keep up on that type of stuff. Y'all let me know y'all think in the comments, man. This is so sad, man. There's so many accidents. So I used to work at a hospital. I used to work for a law firm. I used to see this car accident stuff, man. Reckless driving is crazy. Hey, y'all take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out. Please stay safe. Stay safe out there.